Welcome to the Prep Beat. I'm TJ Holmes. Alongside next to me is Thomas Lawrence. We're here with CV head football coach Matt Hunsaker and senior two-way star Tim Naylor. Now, Coach, your wing tee has always been old-fashioned. I mean, it goes way back and everything. You guys run it, one of the best teams that can run it in the section. But this year you've added a little bit new wrinkle to your system. Talk to me a little bit about that new addition to your team and what it can really give your offense a boost this year.
Well, I think we kind of go back to clinics, and we went to a clinic where Southern Oregon was at, and JC was there, and he went to them, watched them speak, and they talked about a tempo offense. So he started bugging me about it, and I said, well, let's look into it a little bit more and see if we can come up with something that help us, and we did. And it's a tempo, and we went up and spent some time with their coaches, and a coach that coached at the high school and the college level, and he said, boy, if I was to pick an offense at the high school level and run tempo, I'd run it with the wing tee.
Coach, a little bit of a faster offense. One thing similar to last year, you got the three-headed rushing monster, Tony Penta, Connor Silveria, Sawyer McDonald, all veterans for this team. What do they bring to your offense that makes it so dynamic?
Well, they bring a lot of experience now, and they're really starting to buy into when young guys come up, juniors that obviously had a lot of success when they were young, have a tendency to want to just tweak things their way, but they're realizing that if they just do it the way we ask them to do it, they're going to be that much better, and they've bought into that, and they're supplying that leadership and that experience there, and I think that's going to really help us in the long run.
Now, Tim, you're, like I said earlier, a two-way star. You're an all-section cornerback last year. Talk to me a little bit about Matt Diskin's defense in his second year. How are you guys taking that next step to really grow and be a force on defense this year?
Yeah, last year towards the beginning, he was just kind of getting used to who we are coming from the college level down to us and how to coach us and putting in his new defense. And now it's not much of just teaching us his defense. Like a lot of us already know it, and now it's just we're already at the next step.
Tim, you're also the quarterback of this team. I know you're coming off some shoulder surgery, but another year in this system, I know that's just more confidence with experience for you. You've been to the playoffs, to the brink of a section championship game now. How are you feeling health-wise, and how are you feeling just mentally leading this team as a senior?
It's fun. I mean, it was just a little rough watching stuff over summer, but I'm just trying to go day by day to get this thing healthy as possible, and the experience definitely helps. A couple games my sophomore year and last year, and it's just great this year coming in. You're a lot more calmed down. It'll be a little bit easier coming out in front of the crowds. Just the experience helps a lot.
Now, Matt, kind of looking at your schedule, I mean, last year you started 1-4. Your only game that you won was against Orland, which was a brutal game. That was a gut check that you guys won that game. This year you got basically everyone back minus Sutter. You're playing a story up at University of Oregon. Talk to me a little bit about how Division II this year is just stacked. I mean, you look at I know 8 teams make the playoffs, but there's gonna be some good teams that might get left out this year because for 8 to maybe 10 teams in this division could make the playoffs. Talk to me a little bit about how tough it is playing in this division this year.
Well, Division II. You look at West Valley last year. I mean, they knocked off Enterprise, the Division I champs, and Sutter knocked off Enterprise, and it's just those programs, and it's not just those two. Lassen, year in and year out, competes at that level. Wairika's tough. Orland almost went overtime with Sutter in the semis. So, I mean, there's just team after team after team that you've got to bang heads with, whether it's during league or postseason, and each one of them can beat anybody on any given night, depending on how the breaks go.
Coach, one of those big games on your schedule, October 11th, you get to host West Valley in the Valley Bowl, and last year that was a game that really set you back on the right track, propelled you to that Northern Athletic League championship. But these guys like Tim here also had to experience the heartbreak of losing to them on your field in that semifinal. How much does that game and just the rivalry with that team pervade the thought process of you guys, especially like I said, the seniors on this team?
Well, I don't think there needs to be any fuel anywhere to make that rivalry any better, because it's I think we're on their wall. I'm not sure. I've heard rumors, but they know there's one game they really want to get back at, and they got a little bit of revenge in a close football game in the rain, but that's going to be a barn burner. Both teams will be ready for that.
And that matchup has always been a good one. I've seen quite a few of those games already, and both well-coached teams that just want to go at it all the time. And it seems like that's the game that's going to come down to who can win the Northern Athletic League, maybe and run it undefeated and get that head start for playoffs, just like you guys did last year to get the 2 seed over West Valley. And it's going to be awesome to kind of watch it all play out between that Valley Bowl and the rest of the season as you guys defend your Northern Athletic League title. And for more high school football coverage, check out prepbeat.com.